What's up, sports fans, bro? I know y'all missed us. You're watching the sports bar, man. You're watching the sports bar. We are finally back in the game, man. I know it's been a while. Last time we talked, we were talking about the Ravens, finally running the ball. It was like week 4. Yeah. Now, everybody almost out the playoffs. Right. down to the last 4 teams, man. Yeah. But, for those of you who, haven't been here, my name is Bryce Parker, and I'm here with...
My name is Simon Bucks. How y'all doing?
Yep, and we're going to get straight to it, Starting back with our rants of the day. I'm going to go first, personally, Simon, and my rant of the day is about college football in the season. Now, first of all, we're going to shout out, Ohio State for beating Notre Dame this past week. That was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game.
Great game.
On both sides. And I think the College Football Committee, they got it right with this 12-game model. But what I will say is, though, I think that the season needs to be shortened. And what I'll say is I think they need to move up the season 1 week. One week than it already is, and I need them to play one less game at the back end of the season. And I think it'll, take some stress off of the academic calendar. I think it'll coincide with when school starts, and then also that second semester, when that comes back, now all the kids have to do is just focus on school and then winter workouts. Like, for example, the season just ended on Monday. If you went to Ohio State or Notre Dame, you essentially missed the first 2 weeks of classes.
Oh, yeah.
And then after the season is over, like those guys, they need at least a month to rest their body, to recuperate. So then now you're basically a month behind from all the other programs in the whole NCAA who have been able to have winter workouts. They've been able to lift, all that stuff. No, you're playing catch up now in the end of the spring season.
True.
And I feel like it makes it harder for guys to recruit. And I'll get into recruitment and NIL hopefully next, because I got another rant about that. But we don't got enough time for that. But I think moving up the season and also shortening the back end of the season, and then also moving up kind of the playoffs, maybe like a week or two, it'll make sure you don't have a situation where Oregon, they haven't played, or Oregon and also the other teams who had that bye, they're not waiting a whole month to play. And then now when they play that second round of playoffs, you're starting to see these guys fatigue, they get out slow. And as you saw with Oregon and Ohio State, Oregon blinked, and they was down 20-some points.
Exactly.
So, I think you'll get fresher teams. You get teams who have been playing. And I think it'll just make a better product for this 12-game. But I think this 12-game model is perfect. I don't touch it at all. I think it's perfect.
Okay. Well, my rant of the day, it's a little more on a positive note. My rant of the day is that my Commanders are back. We are back, man.
So you see someone with the big-ass hat on.
You see it, man. You see it, man. I got the hat, got the throwback jersey on, man. This season has been unbelievable, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, 12 games. We are 1 win away from going to the Super Bowl, yo. I cannot believe it. This season has been by far the best one I've ever had as a Commanders fan, man. That's all I had to say, man. I'm just so excited that the burgundy and gold are back, baby. That's all I got to say.
And Simon, correct me if I'm wrong, 30 years since they've been to the conference championship game, right?
Yeah, about 30 years, yeah.
That's older than both of us.
Yeah, man.
That's older than both of us, man.
It's crazy.
But, man, I mean, it's just a credit to, the new day and the new system in Washington. New ownership, new quarterback, just new culture. Everybody just believes in what is going on in Washington. At the beginning of the season, I feel like fans were like, okay, it's looking good.
Yeah.
But they were always worried about that but. You were thinking oh, yeah, this is a snake-bitten franchise who, something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now I think people are finally just confident that you have a product on the field you can believe in from top to bottom.
Absolutely, because there was some excitement going into the year because we definitely upgraded our roster. Like I said, we drafted Jaden Daniels. We added good additions on the defensive side of the ball. We added a Frankie Louisville, a Jeremy Chin, a Dorrance Armstrong, a Cleveland Farrell. So looking at this roster, it was better than last year, but I still didn't think we'd be in this position. I thought, I said this plenty of times, if we got seven wins this season,
it's a success.
It's a success, but we almost doubled that. It's been absolutely crazy. Like I said, it just been like you said, just a whole shift from the front office on down, man. Adam Peters has done an amazing job. Josh Harris seemed like he's a good owner. Those two guys are definitely spearheading this change of culture, man. It's definitely, the future's definitely bright in Washington, man, for sure. I'm excited.
Y'all definitely have something to cook with. I feel like if I was this ownership group and this GM group, whenever Jaden Daniels, it's time for him to, and that whenever that rookie contract's over, I would give him something similar to that same deal that Patrick Mahomes had that locks him in for 10, 12 years.
Yeah, man.
Because he's your franchise guy.
He is.
But we'll get back to that later.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that. We gotta get into these games that happened last weekend. All right, so we're gonna start with the Eagles and Rams. Tell me what were some of your takeaways from that game?
Some of my takeaways from the game. I'm still kind of bullish on Matt Stafford, man. He had, especially that last throw he had to get his team into good field position to score that touchdown. He missed that throw, man. I feel like Matt Stafford is good, but I kind of wonder if he's still the guy at this point, because I know they won a Super Bowl with him, but I don't know. He's still a very good quarterback. He's above average, but I don't know. I have my questions as far as like how long they're really going to like really stick with him for real, and when they're going to really go into like when the Rams are going to go into a new direction as far as who's going to be calling plays for them.
Right.
How about you?
I mean, I agree. Like I have a similar sentiment to you. I think, you would still take Matthew Stafford as, one of those top, end quarterbacks in the league. But I feel like gone are the days now where Matt Stafford is willing teams to the playoffs or willing teams to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Even look when he went to the Rams that first year and they went to the Super Bowl, it was kind of like where the GMs and the ownership group were saying, we're just going to go all out, give all our money, all our draft picks. Yeah. And that team was stacked.
It was.
And Matt Stafford had to do what he had to do. Everybody on that roster was doing what they had to do to win. And it proved that it was successful. But I think now you're seeing a team that in the Los Angeles Rams who, they don't have the same talent that you saw, 4 seasons ago. Yeah. And then also, I think that mental stress of everything that's going on in California, I think that really kind of haunts them.
That's a good point too.
And because I would say like that first game they had when they had to travel to Arizona and play the Vikings. Yeah. I think that first week kind of galvanized them, but I think emotionally the toll it takes to play football, even when nothing is going on, and compartmentalize, I think carrying that over into that next week, it kind of had them mentally drained. Them boys also look cold.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
they look. Oh my gosh, Puka Nacua looked cold.
Yeah, that's the thing about playing in Cali, man. Yeah, you playing Cali all those months when you're not really used to those cold weather games.
And they play inside.
Yeah, exactly.
They play inside on top of being in California.
Yeah, so
I think it was just a cocktail of things. I remember seeing something earlier today when they were talking about Matthew Stafford was saying how like after the game he's like, I'm going home, but I don't know what I'm going home to. And I think that just really taps into the psyche of these players where it's just like, being away, it actually allowed me to just focus on football just for a couple of days. And then it's like, now the game is over, all the dust is settled, and you have that just pressure on your mind of like, what is going on at home? Like my loved ones, my family, my house is gone, potentially. Maybe it will be, maybe it won't. I just think that weight on that team.
Yeah, I think so too, man. That's definitely a lot to deal with, potentially losing. Like not in fact, not even just the Rams, but just the city the state rather as a whole, losing your houses, losing your loved one. That's definitely a really lot to really handle. And I think that definitely think I agree with you. I definitely think it played a role in their play. But I will say this: I do think that their the state of California definitely should be proud of their team, and they definitely gave it all they could. Right. They did win one round of the playoffs, and we said back to next season, man. Hopefully, like I said, that run, even though it's short lived, they can kind of galvanize that community, and we're definitely praying for you, the state of California. Hope y'all definitely recover from this for sure.
Right. And so, let's pivot to Kansas City and Texans. What did you think about that game?
The Texans need to invest in the O-line for C.J. Stroud. That's what I think.
He
man.
was hit so many times.
Yeah, man. And that's honestly been a thing with this team all season. Like this. Because CJ, he had it. He had that sophomore slump, and I'm not gonna put it all on the O-line, because I definitely think they played a part in it. Because in order for a quarterback to really be as efficient and be as dominant as you want to be, you have to give him time to throw, man. Right. And I definitely think the Texans didn't do as a good a job of that as they should have. So I think their O-line definitely needs to be tweaked going into this offseason. That needs to be one of, if not their top priority.
Right. And, I mean, I agree with you. And then, to me, really just going into this game, I did a little piece where I was just talking about every team's, keys to victory. Mm-hmm. And I just thought going into this game, like, the Texans were just truly overmatched on every single facet. Like, I think the Chiefs, they like to keep the ball. They like to control the clock. True. And, I think the Texans did a little bit better than people expected in that front. Mm-hmm. But I just think with the fact that, the Chiefs, their strength ran through their defense this year. They ran through their defensive line. I think that the Texans they didn't have the weapons available that they thought they were going to have going into the season that was going to be able to match, a strong Chiefs secondary. They didn't really have the offensive line that they thought they were going to have that was going to be able to keep a Chris Jones or a Karlaftis, off of C.J. Stroud. And I think it just showed. And, congrats to the Texans because, they still, with all the injuries they had, they still got themselves to the playoffs. And I think they have a great young core. Like, that was a young core that last year almost went to the AFC Championship. And they built on it. I think they were even a better team this year before the injuries. So I think next year, they'll have a chance to, regroup in the offseason. They can see, hey, now we have a season that we saw that worked. Now we have a season we saw that didn't work. What are we going to do if we want to take that next level to actually be true conference and Super Bowl contenders in the AFC?
Absolutely, because like you said, the injuries that they had, it definitely played a factor. Because you lose Tank Dell, who's a very quality receiver. You lose Stephon Diggs, who's a top 10 receiver in this league, and now you're down really to just Nico Collins.
And he missed a couple games this year. He missed like 6 or 7 games, so in the middle of the season.
Exactly, he missed time too. So that definitely played a part. So hopefully, all those. Well, the thing is, Tank Dell, he got hurt late in the season, so there's a chance he might not even be back for 2025.
Yeah, I just think with the laundry list of injuries he has.
Yeah.
Just from that one play, that one hit we saw, I think it's going to be – I don't think he returns next year. So, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and it sucks because he got hurt. His rookie year got cut short because of injury. So, it sucks to see a talented receiver get hurt in back-to-back years. But, like I said, hope Tank gets healthy and Stephon Diggs comes back as well.
Right. Because, I mean, I would just – oh, my gosh, I would just love to see what it would look like for a full season with those with that 3. And then also, like, with Joe Mixon getting added to that mix. Like, Joe Mixon truly, I feel like, anchored that team.
Yeah, for sure.
Offensively and got them through.
Yeah, man. He definitely played a very big role in their success. He was a part of that whole resurgence of running backs, man. How important he as well as Saquon and Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. They showed the NFL why it's so important to run the ball. So like hopefully they do keep that core intact because I definitely want to see what this core looks like when everyone is healthy, everybody is locked in, ready to go. And I think the sky's the limit for them.
Got you. All right, so I know you're anxious to talk about the Commanders and Lions, but I'm gonna save that one for we're gonna get to the game of the week. We're gonna get to the game of the week. That Ravens and Bills matchup. I need your take.
Man. Well, I'll address the obvious thing, turnovers, man. That played a huge part, man. Mark Andrews. One thing I will say about this is that people tend to concentrate on that last play. He dropped a 2-point conversion, but let's not forget Lamar does deserve some blame too because he threw that pick, and although it didn't, I don't believe it resulted in any points from the Bills. But who knows if he doesn't throw that pick, maybe they score, and he also had a fumble later on, so he didn't play his best game, and that seemed to be a common theme from him in the playoffs. He definitely turns the ball over a lot in the playoffs because in the regular season he only had 4 picks. He did a good job of keeping the ball out of harm's way, but when the playoffs comes, it just he becomes almost, I won't say a turnover machine. I don't want to go that far, but like he definitely has that turnover issue. So he has to get that fixed up.
What I'll say is I think within that game you did see a little bit of the maturation of Lamar's game. I think that first half, I think it was a tale of two halves and a tale of two Lamars.
Yeah.
I think that first half you saw the Lamar Jackson where it's like, this guy is so good in the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, it's like, it's not like he diminishes, but it's like that high-level play gets taken down. But I feel like in that second half, he played almost perfect. And we saw the Lamar Jackson that was like, this is the guy that we know is the MVP. We know that he's going to one day win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he elevated that play, and he brought them back.
Yeah, he did.
He brought them back.
Yeah.
And, it's sad to see that, now we're going to go into another year wondering, like, what if? But, I mean, you're right, though. The turnovers are important.
Yeah.
But I think when turnovers matter are even more important. Like, those first 2 turnovers, they happen in the first half. They go into halftime, 21-10. Also, terrible pass interference call, but we're not even going to talk about that. Anyway, back to the topic, though. Yeah. But they overcame them. But, everybody's going to dogpile on Mark Andrews, which, I mean, can't drop the ball there.
You can't
fumble the ball there. But it just proves that turnovers and key moments will really dictate games. There's always we always talk about it. I mean, I coach youth football now, and I always tell the kids every single game we play, we're going to look back on 4 to 5 plays And those are the ones that are going to decide the game, whether it's a blowout, whether it's close, whether we win or we lost. We don't know when those 5 plays are going to come, but you always have to be on your game.
Absolutely.
You always got to be on your game. And I would say those 5 were, 2 Lamar turnovers, the pass interference. I would even say Derrick Henry dropping that ball on 3rd down early in the game. And then the drops, like that was, I can name 6. And I feel like those were key points in the game. And, Josh Allen's going to go meet the boogeyman.
Yeah, man, that's definitely
going to be a great game.
Yeah, for sure. Because I want to address something you said about how in a playoff game you really see Lamar's real maturation. Because to me, this might be his best. I think this is maybe his best season that he's had up until this point.
I agree.
This is definitely better than the season he had when he won his first MVP, I believe, in 2019. Like you can really see over the years, if you watch Lamar, y'all can really see his maturation as a passer. He's coming into the league, he was definitely a little bit definitely kind of raw, but he's definitely one of my favorite people to watch because he had the running ability, but his passing was always kind of in question for me. But this season, I think he really took control of that Todd Monken led offense and really spearheaded these guys. And you could just see he looked a lot more confident, I feel like, in years past. But like I said, you got Lamar, you gotta fix those turnovers, man. I want to see you get a ring so bad, man. He's one player I would love to see get a ring, but gotta wait till next year, man. Hopefully they can make another one. But congratulations to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, man. They deserve it. That AFC title game against Mahomes, I think that's gonna be a classic, man, for sure.
Lastly, before I move on, I do think that Bills front played a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, for sure.
That first game they played when they came to Baltimore, they got destroyed. But you did have Matt Milano back in the lineup. But even aside from that, I just think they overall just played a more solid game. Yeah. Especially in the first half. The second half, kind of in the fourth quarter, the Ravens kind of started doing what they kind of wanted to. Yeah. But I would say that was a better game for them. All right, so for the moment of truth, there's a reason you got that big ass hat on.
Got the hat on today, man. Yes, sir. Commanders, Lions, man. It's so weird how this team just continues to surprise me, man. Because I did not think that we were gonna win this game, man. Because the Lions, the only reason why I thought we might have had a chance to win this game is because they were so banged up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I said to myself, I said, if we're gonna have any chance to beat this team, we have to match the Lions' intensity on the offensive side, on the offensive side of the ball, and we definitely did that. Trustway, he might have punted maybe. I'm not even sure if he even punted, because it seemed like every time we got into the red zone, we capitalized on those opportunities. When we put up 45 points, the defense, they didn't shut them down because they still scored 31, but they came up. They made plays when it mattered. You had the pick 6 by, I believe, Noah Igbenogany, and you had Mikey Sanders, so he had two picks. Yeah, man. This team, they just continue to surprise me, man. I'm excited to see what we do against Philly on Sunday.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point, because I think everybody was focusing on the fact that the Commanders are going to have to be very efficient on offense, which they were. Yeah. They're going to have to keep up with the Lions scoring attack because it's truly dynamic. But I think what we really need to focus on is the fact that, we're in the playoffs. You have the best players. You have the best teams. You have the best coordinators. You're not going to be able to stop everybody all the time, but can you make those key stops and making Jared Goff turn the ball over 4 times with a defense that we're usually seeing that might be a little porous, that might not be able to stop the run, or not be able to stop people on the back end. They made the plays when they counted. I would say shout out to Mike Sanders because he stepped up. You truly have a cornerstone piece on that side of the field that can make plays.
Absolutely, because Jaden Daniels, he gets. I talked about this recently. Jaden Daniels, he gets all the credit, and rightfully so. He's had an amazing season, but I don't want us to forget about Mikey, man. He's definitely come through in moments, and the thing is, he's really playing out. He played out of position most of the season, but at some points he has definitely held his own, and he definitely seems like him along with JD, they definitely seem like they're gonna be franchise pieces moving forward, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a exciting offseason for them because now you're seeing this is a team that went to the AFC. It's kind of like you're gonna see the same thing that happened last year with the Texans. You're gonna see free agents say, "Hey, I want to go play here."
Yeah.
And I think, like, watching this team kind of grow, like, we cover this team literally every single day, every single week. And you literally see week after week, you have the comebacks, you have the last second stops. And I believe it's because you have a quarterback where people are saying, we're never out of it.
Absolutely.
As long as we got 5,
we still alive.
Nah, literally,
we still alive, man.
Literally, like, they're never out of it.
Like one game I want to point to, actually, funny enough, that Philly game a couple weeks back where we had 5 turnovers.
Still found a way to win.
But somehow we still find a way to win, man. This team has been resilient all season, man, and I really liked it about this team, man. We definitely turned over a new leaf, man. We did a complete 180 from last year, man. It's gonna be crazy, man. This Philly game is gonna be tough, but it's gonna be exciting for sure.
Yeah, and to our viewers that don't live in this area, DC is turned up. Like, this whole DMV area is turned up over the Commanders right now. The energy is crazy.
For sure, man.
All right, bam. So, we made it to the bowl game, which is a game where we pick questions that might be a little hard to answer. And so today, I'm going to ask Simon a series of questions, and he can't get out of it. You got to answer them.
All right,
All right, boom. Well, I was going to ask you, do you think Lamar will ever win a Super Bowl? But I think you might have touched on that a little bit. But do you truly believe, like, it's just inevitable for Lamar?
I do think he'll win a Super Bowl because he's still. It's funny enough because he's still very young. Because I feel like we tend to forget that about some players. Like, I feel like with some players they accomplish so much in such a short period of time. We tend to forget how young they are. Lamar's only 28 years old. He has a lot of time to win a Super Bowl, but it's not going to be easy though, because you have Mahomes, who's not going anywhere. Josh Allen, he's not going anywhere. Joe Burrow. You have up and coming guys like a C.J. Stroud, a Justin Herbert. If Jim Harbaugh can help build up that roster, it's going to be tough. But I feel like at some point in time, Lamar he's going to get that monkey off his back. That's literally the only thing that the main criticism that people have about him is that you win all these MVPs. Were the Super Bowl, you know, but I feel like at some point, man, he's gonna break through, and I think he's gonna come away with at least one ring by the time his career is over, because he has a lot of gas left in the tank. So I definitely think he'll win one for sure.
I think you bring up a great point about his age, because I mean, you look at the NFL right now, the only new age quarterback that's under 35 years old that's actually won a Super Bowl is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of ranking new age quarterbacks, where do you rank Jayden Daniels among his peers?
Man, this season I would say he's definitely. I would say he's in the top 10. So as far as quarterbacks right now that I would take, I'm not talking about overall, like, given their careers. He's only a rookie, so I can't do that. But as far as this season alone, I would not put him above Mahomes. I would not put him above Mahomes, Lamar. I think I still take Joey B over him, even though the Bengals didn't make the playoffs. He still had a phenomenal season. He'd be an MVP candidate had they had a better record. Man, I think I put him at 4. I don't think.
You heard it here first. Jayden Daniels is a top 5 quarterback.
I think he's played at a top five level, man, because he's been unbelievable. Because
better than Josh Allen?
Give me Josh. Oh, okay.
So 5.
So
you put him at 5.
He's 5. Yes.
Okay, all right.
He's 5.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Because Lamar, not Lamar. Josh, he's shown, because he's definitely shown his ability to will his team. Because I didn't think the Bills were going to do good this year, given what they lost this past offseason. But Lamar has. I'm sorry, why can't I say Lamar? Josh has definitely carried him. Helped carry this team. So I have him top 5. So Mahomes. I have Mahomes. Lamar. Joey B, Josh Allen ahead of JD, and I have JD at 5.
Got you.
He's top 5 for me.
All right, last question. Let's get in real quick. Do you think anybody will ever break Eric Dickerson's rushing record?
Saquon should have broke it, man. I think so, because because I feel like guys today, because with the evolution of the game, you have guys are more athletic. I feel like guys can be a little bit more durable, and I feel like guys running for 2K, it's becoming, or at least approaching that 2K, it's becoming more and more more and more common. So I think so, because you have Derrick Henry, he ran for I think 1,900 yards. Saquon who ran for 2K. I think definitely somebody will break it at some point. I won't be surprised if someone breaks it next year. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it could be hard because like you have these guys who are throwing the ball around so much.
Yeah.
You do have the extra game, but I think the extra game, and then I feel like because you have the extra game and you have guys who are throwing it down so much, it kind of evens the playing field. But I mean, if there was a guy to do it at any time, it should have been Saquon this year.
Saquon, man.
Yeah. If the Eagles weren't as good and they hadn't shored everything up, I think they would have played that game.
Yeah.
I think Saquon definitely would have got it.
Yeah, for sure.
In my opinion. All right, up against it. All right, let's get into this weekend's matchups. I'm gonna tell something, you're gonna tell something. So, what do you think are the keys to victory in the AFC Championship game?
Okay, AFC Championship game. So I want the Bills. I want the Bills to come out on top. So I'll speak from that perspective. So I think he will, because he's more than capable of doing so. But I think Josh Allen has to match Lamar in terms of play, because in that Ravens. Oh, sorry, Mahomes. What Josh?
I feel like it's because we've been talking all year about Josh and Lamar. So it's like you can't say one without the other.
I know. Yeah. So, as far as Josh, I feel like I don't think you're going to beat this Kansas City team by throwing for. I think he threw for like 127 against the Ravens.
Right.
I feel like to beat Mahomes, you got to throw for at least 250, 300 yards. I definitely think so. I think that D-line, they have to really get after Mahomes. Greg Rousseau, Epinesa, they have to really get pressure on the Chiefs, because I feel like their O-line is not. I don't think it's really the best. So I feel like they really have to capitalize on that. I think, and if they do that, I think they have a shot at taking down Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I think kind of Bills. I think the Bills are gonna have to find a way to control the clock. Same way they kind of did with the Ravens, where they kept the ball, where they held the ball on, where they were converting on third and even fourth down. You have to hold the ball, because the Chiefs are they have the most 10+ play drives in the whole league.
Yeah.
You know what they're gonna do. And if you're the Bills, that you have a guy who can get you to the promised land, you need to make sure he has the ball.
Absolutely.
And then with Kansas City, just do what you've done all year. You control the ball, you've learned how to win late, you drag people down to your level of ugly play, and you beat them with experience. You need to do the same thing against the Bills if you think it's gonna if you think that the Kansas City Chiefs are gonna come out on top. The Chiefs need to do the same thing that they did last week to the Texans that they're going to do this week to the Bills.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go. NFC Championship, we're up against it.
Okay, so in order for my Commanders to come on top, and I know it's a lot easier said than done, mainly because that Eagles offensive line, how good they are, but they really have to limit Saquon's impact, man. I'm not saying we're going to shut him down, because I don't think that's possible, but if we can limit him to maybe around like 80 to I won't even say 80, because I think that's not even possible. I'll say maybe at least like 100 yards. Now, I don't want, if he runs for $150, $175, 200, we're not going to win this game. I feel like we have to limit Saquon's impact and force Jalen Hurts to beat us with his arm, because I don't think Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's the best thrower of the football. So it's like, if we limit Saquon's impact and Jalen Hurts, if he throws for 250 and a couple of touchdowns, I can live with that than having Saquon run the air out of football and run for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I feel like we have to do that. That's the main key. I think we have to definitely have to execute in order to have any shot at beating the Eagles.
I agree. I think if Jalen Hurts turns around and hands the ball to Saquon Barkley 20 times, it's over.
It's over.
But I'm going to end the show being controversial. Now I'm going to address the camera right there. Commanders going to the Super Bowl. All right, thank you so much for joining us on the Sports Bar. That's all the time we got for today. Hopefully, we can come back and do this again next week. Maybe I'll be right. Maybe I'll be wrong. Y'all can drag me in the comments if you want to. And, thank you so much for joining us. This is the Sports Bar. I'm Bryce Parker.
I'm Simon Bugs.
Thanks so much for joining us, and good night.
Peace.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I might have to put a little money on the Commanders.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.